Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man who gets most of his exercise by sitting down and then realizing he left his beer in the other room. It's Dale.
Yeah, man. Had to get you some.
You have to get up and go get it.
That's a whole different kind of setup.
Yeah.
Just to sit down and set up.
Yeah. Go get you another one.
Yeah, it turns into a stand-up, I guess.
That's it. But who forgets your beer anyway?
Yeah, it's all lies. It's all lies.
You just walk around with it in your hand, you're good to go.
One in each pocket and two in your hand.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Like we talked about in the last episode, get you a beer mug.
It's kind of like reading glasses. You just got one in every room. You're good to go.
Yeah. You see my beer? Yeah, it's in this room.
Yeah, there's one here somewhere.
Yeah. What's going on today, dude?
You know it. Same old, same old.
Well, I love same old, same old. I dig it, man. Well, you got any good shout outs? Anybody want to talk about before we get going, bud?
Well, listen.
Man.
We got one here. This was from way over yonder. This is says hi from Perth, Western Australia.
Australia.
It says,
Mate.
hey, yeah, all them fancy words. Hey, I've been listening for a while now. Thanks for the great podcast. I never miss an episode. This comes from Samantha Lee, so it must be like Southern Western.
Yeah.
She's Samantha Lee. Samantha Lee in Perth, Western Australia.
How cool is that?
And how cool is that?
Yeah.
That comes from way over there.
Yeah, that's on the other side of the world over there.
And we appreciate you, Samantha Lee, for dropping us a little review there.
Yeah, we do appreciate Samantha Lee, and I think we forgot about that one because it came from another country, but we do appreciate you a whole big bunch.
I don't think we forgot it. We just missed it somehow.
We did miss it somehow or another because it comes
That sounds bad when you say we forgot it because it's from another country.
Yeah.
That one just kind of got backdoored through another thing. We just saw it today.
But anybody can go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rate and review, and you can write something in that box and it feeds that algorithm and we get a notification and you will get a shout out.
And we appreciate it.
We really do. And if you want to go to the store page, get you something cool to wear, you can do that. Wintertime's coming up, fall, you can get you a hoodie.
Quit wishing it on.
Oh, I love it, man. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for some cooler weather anyway.
Hot, hot, hot.
No. But other than that, after this short break, Dale, we're going to get on in this episode, bud.
Yeah, we all going to be mad. You better get out the cuss beaver today.
All right, dude, we've got a crazy story this week, man. Yeah, we got one that's going to piss Dale off.
It pissed Donnie off, too.
Yeah, it's pissed me off.
I've been smoking all day.
Yeah, we've been studying this case for a week, and it is...
We're still mad.
Yeah, I'm going to be mad for another week before we get started on another episode.
I'm telling you.
But, man, today we are talking about a lady by the name of Ellen Greenberg.
That's right.
Yeah. And just a little bit of background on Ellen Greenberg. She was born on June the 23rd, 1983. And she was the only child to parents Joshua and Sandra Greenberg. I think I messed that up.
I thought you were going to say Sandra D.
Look, let me start that whole thing over.
All right.
And just a little bit of background on Ellen Greenberg. She was born on June the 23rd, 1983. And Dale, she was the only child to her parents Joshua and Sandra Greenberg. And they lived in New York City.
New York City.
New York City. And Ellen, she graduated from Penn State University as a communications major and even considered becoming a speech pathologist.
Maybe she could help you.
Maybe a little bit on my speaking. And she ended up going to Temple University to become a school teacher.
Wow.
Yeah. And she had obtained her master's degree and was certified in reading specialty. So she was
she's brilliant and beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful lady. Yeah. But the time our story takes place, it starts on January the 26th of 2011.
Not too long ago.
And this is on a Wednesday. And Ellen Greenberg was 27 years old at the time.
Okay.
And on this day, she was supposed to be at work.
Right.
But school had let out.
Yeah, about noon. They had a big nor'easter come through.
Yeah, she was teaching at Juanita Park Academy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
First grade, baby.
Yeah. And like I said, they let the school out. I mean, down here, if we see a snowflake, we're going to be closed down for a week.
Right.
Yeah, here in North Carolina.
I guess at least they went so they could count today,
Yeah, but this was a big nor'easter coming in.
Yeah, they had to get out of there.
Yeah, they had to close the school down.
When you get fancy name snowstorms, it's big.
Yeah. And Ellen even stayed there at the school till all the kids got gone to make sure they had a ride home.
Yeah.
That's how good she was.
Good-hearted lady.
Very good-hearted. But she was able to leave school, And on her way home, she stopped and filled up her gas tank in her car.
She did?
Yeah, filled her tank up.
Always be prepared.
Yes.
Especially when it's snowing.
Yeah, get you milk and loaf of bread, too.
That's right. Make them sandwiches.
Yep. But Ellen returned to her Venice Lofts apartment. This is in Philadelphia.
Right.
And
Pennsylvania.
And this apartment building, this is where she lived with her 28-year-old fiance. His name was Sam Goldberg.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like a nice place.
Yep. Now, her and Sam, they've been together for a few years. And he was working as a TV producer.
Yeah, I think 3 years they'd been together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, like I said, he was a TV producer. And he had actually proposed to Ellen in the summer of 2010.
Oh, wow.
Proposed marriage, yeah. And they were excited about their wedding.
She was ecstatic.
Yeah, they were planning this stuff, and they were living together and just having a good old time.
That's right.
Yeah, and on January the 22nd of 2011, just a few months before this story takes place, she'd even sent out her save the date cards for the wedding they had set for August of that year, 2011.
Right.
Yeah. So that day, the January the 26th of 2011, Sam was at home in the apartment with Ellen.
Right, because she had gotten home early.
Yes. And around 4:45 p.m., Sam went to the gym. They had a gym there in the apartment complex.
Right, that way he didn't have to leave, with the snowstorm and all.
Yeah, down there they had a gym they could go to and work out, so he didn't have to leave or do anything like that.
It's probably a fitness center.
It probably is.
Yeah.
But he did go down to this gym to work out for a little while.
Right.
And Sam returned about a half hour later.
So he worked out about 30 minutes.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And it was sometime between 5:15 and 5:30. He got back up to the apartment and got to the door and tried to open the door.
Right.
But it was locked. But not locked in the way we normally lock a door. The deadbolt wasn't locked.
Right.
It was.
Well, he had a key.
He was able to get the door open, but it had one of them swing bars on it, like in a hotel room.
Right.
That loops over a little knob that where
Like
you can.
the door's got a little knob on it, and there's like a horseshoe-looking gimmick on the door face, and it swings over that, and it keeps. It's kind of like the old chain slide, but the new improved version.
Yeah, where you can open the door just a few inches and see who's there.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like
still be secure.
Exactly, but that little slide bar, swing lock was over the knob, so he couldn't get in.
Right, so it's locked from the inside.
Yeah, locked from the inside.
Correct.
And he knocked on the door and tried to get Ellen to come to the door.
Yeah.
And nobody answered. Nobody was coming to the door.
Right, so I'm assuming he opened a little bit and yelled or something, you'd think, because you can open it, like you said, a couple inches.
A couple or 3 inches, yeah.
Right.
And he was knocking on the door, hollering for Ellen.
No reply.
No reply. And he got a little frustrated, and he started sending Ellen some text messages.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't sure if maybe she was on the phone in one of the bedrooms and didn't hear him or whatever.
Right.
So he sent her some text messages. And these text messages went over the course of about 22 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And these text messages were such as, the first one was, hello.
Yeah, there's little shorts, And I get it, because this is just basically hoping she's going to hear the ding, and then see it and go, oh, good. So he's not writing a book or nothing.
Yeah. The first one was, hello. Then a few minutes later, he said, open the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit later, he was like, what are you doing?
You sure have seen my wife texting?
It might be my wife. But it got a little bit more stressful on him, I guess.
Right.
The fourth one said, I'm getting pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the one after that was, hello.
It's probably more like, hello. It's kind of that thing.
Yeah, with
You got to read it with some intense.
yeah, looking cross-eyed at somebody, yeah. And then the one after that, it got a little bit deeper.
Yeah, he's getting mad now.
He said, you better have an excuse. Yeah.
Right.
And the one after that was, what the fuck?
Yes.
And another one after that was, or ugh, or something to that nature.
Yeah.
Where he was just frustrated.
Yeah.
And then the last text was, you have no idea.
He's really mad now.
He mad, bro.
Yeah. Why ain't you open this door?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And in between one of those, I'm not sure which one it was, it's kind of near the bottom there when he's getting a little ill, he actually sent an email.
He did.
And said one of kind of like the what the F or whatever in that too. But I guess he's assuming, well, maybe she don't have her phone, but she maybe he's on the laptop in the other room or something, you know. So you got to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sam was pretty frustrated.
Anyway, still never got an answer.
No. So he went downstairs to the lobby of the apartment complex.
Correct.
And he talked to a guy by the name of Phil Hanson.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was a security guard, doorman.
Like a doorman, yeah.
At the apartment complex.
Right.
And he wanted him to help him break the lock.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get in the room.
Help him get in, yeah.
Yeah. But Phil, the security guard, he refused and told him that it was against policy.
Yeah, he told him he can go up there and do it if he wanted to. He said, but you will be liable for damages in his policy. I cannot break in your door.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it totally.
100%.
So Sam went back up to the apartment door, and he forced the door open himself.
Hang on. Right here somewhere we got to, does it tell later when he called his friend, uncle, and all them? Because it happens before this.
We might get it. We might do that a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, sorry, I fucked it up.
That's all right. So Sam went back up to the apartment door, and he forced the door open himself.
Yeah.
Now, just as he got in the door, Sam found Ellen slumped on the floor in the kitchen, leaning against the cabinets.
Yes.
And at this point, he called 911. And the time of the 911 call was 6:33 p.m. So he had started texting her at around 5:30.
So it's been about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour. And at 6:33, this is when he called 911. And Dale, we got that 911 call right here.
Okay. Baby.
I just walked into my apartment. My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
What is the address?
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please come. Help.
4601
Now.
Flat
Flat Rock Road.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Apartment.
It's an apartment.
What apartment number?
Please hurry,
Where
please.
is she bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell.
No, so you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm looking at her right now. I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie.
You don't know where she's bleeding from? Can't tell where the blood's coming from?
I think her head. I think she hit her head, I think. But it's everywhere.
Okay,
It's everywhere.
Think she might have fallen? Do you know what happened?
She may have slipped. There's blood on the table. Her face is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone. Fire Department 842. What's the address? No,
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please hurry.
4601 Flat Rock.
Yes.
What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now, just on the floor with blood. Like she's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down, and I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So
Okay, look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay, do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay, I can tell you what to do, okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her flat on her.
God.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, okay.
Are you willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they get there?
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off. Okay? You need to kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you gotta...
Okay, I'm trying not to. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife. Oh, no. Her knife's sticking out.
Her what?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her out. Here now. I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is in her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police, which operator?
277.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Is there what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God! Okay.
How old is she?
She's 27.
27. And there's no sign of life at all? Like, been turned to her arm.
No, please don't be. What?
Been turned to her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
She's Ellie. She's not. Her arm, her hands are still warm. I don't know if that means, but there's blood everywhere.
I know, but you can't, and the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
It looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks it's a long knife.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything, okay?
I'm not touching anything. I can't believe this stuff.
So wait, it was just you there with her?
We're the only ones here.
And she ran in the door, you said latched it shut?
No, I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was latched.
Oh.
Like it was, it wasn't like it was, it was like locked from the inside, and I'm yelling, so I'm
Was your
yelling
house
and
broken into?
No.
So there's no sign of a break-in?
No sign of a break-in at all. I mean, there will be when you get here, because I had to break the latch, but to get in.
Okay, 4601 Flat Rock, and this is a house, right?
It's an apartment. Flat Rock apartment.
Okay, that'll help.
Oh my God. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
According to an investigation.
All right, Dale. What are your thoughts on that 911 call, bud?
That's a pretty good acting to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of acting.
I don't know, dude. It just hits me wrong every time I listen to it.
I've listened to it several times. And
From the beginning, he comes in and goes, oh my God, there's blood everywhere.
yeah,
And when you look at the crime scene photos, there's not really much blood.
no, we're gonna post photos of all this stuff. We got photos for this,
Yeah.
but there was really not a lot of blood.
When then he comes up and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as she says, sir, you need to calm down, he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's
He
like
just cuts it off right
a
there.
switch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he says, nothing's broken. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I don't know what that means.
When I first started listening to it, I thought, well, maybe how is he just putting off, like, nothing's broken on her, but maybe he means nothing's broken around her, like, where would the blood come from, because he don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
she hit her head, but there's no glass or plates or nothing, like she passed out or something, But
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't. It's kind of a weird thing to say right off the bat. Nothing's broken.
I know.
Like, what the hell do you mean by that?
And I don't know how he didn't notice a knife not sticking out of her chest
Right.
from the get go.
Yeah, because she's got on a T-shirt and a hoodie, a zip-up hoodie on.
Yeah.
And it's sticking out. It ain't like it's under the hoodie. It's through the hoodie.
Yeah, it's through all these layers of clothing.
Yeah. And then he said there's blood on the table. Why did he say that?
I don't know.
It's just so weird. And then they transfer him over to rescue or whatever, and she comes on and she goes, well, what's wrong? And then he goes back and tells her the whole story. Like, I went to first grade, and then I went to second grade, and then, then I came back from the gym. I mean, he goes all through all this whole big thing.
Like he's trying to set an alibi for
it's
himself.
kind of a covering his ass right off the bat. Yeah,
I believe so too.
So it's like, what the heck? So he gives that whole full story, and then she goes, is she flat on her back? And he goes, yes, she's on her back. Which, yeah, I guess, you can let that one pass because technically, I guess she is on her back, but nowhere near like laying there.
She was almost propped up, leaning against the cabinets on the floor, sitting on the floor.
Yeah, like in the L of the cabinets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In the corner.
Right. So she's like if you sit down in the corner and then you slid down a little bit.
Yeah, slump down.
Right, yeah. That's how it was. Now, maybe, we don't know because I haven't seen any photos, the actual of that.
We've seen some drawings and sketches.
Right. So, I mean, maybe her hair may be in the way a little bit, but I still don't. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how close he is doing this, or even if he's in the same place, if he already knew what it looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, and then when she asked about CPR, would you do that for me? Well, I guess I have to, right?
Yeah, that made no sense. I mean, it's like, do I have to get dirty?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, and wait, I can't get her shirt off. It's a zipper. Oh!
There's a knife.
There's a knife. There's a knife sticking out. She stabbed herself.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. Stabbed herself. That's the first thing out of his mouth.
Throwing that out there.
What do you mean? And then, maybe she fell on it. So she fell on it and then backflipped over to sit back in the corner? Come on, dude.
Dude, this guy's...
He's like, and then she's like, well, how far is it in? Oh, it's a really long knife. How does he know how long the knife is?
Well, I mean, I'll give him a pass on that one because it is their knives.
Well, I know, but if he didn't even seen it but half a second.
Very true, very true.
He don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just something that's kind of, it's, and then he goes, oh, I just can't believe it. But he says it's the way he does, and then she asks him about a break-in. Was there a break-in? And he goes, oh, no. How do you know? You just came in, your door is locked. You haven't seen anything but her laying on the floor. That's it. You ain't been in no other room. You ain't been nowhere. You picked up the phone supposedly and called right now.
Been right there in the kitchen.
So, come on, man.
Yeah. But just another thing, too, they lived on the 6th floor
Yes.
of this apartment complex.
Right.
And the only other way out would be, really, there's no other way out. It's just going out to a little small balcony.
Right.
And that's it.
And it'd been snowing, like we said. So
Yes.
And there was no prints.
No footprints or nothing out there.
Even if Spider-Man came, you could still tell.
Yeah.
So, 6th floor, top of the apartment buildings.
The door he busted into was the only way in and out.
Correct.
Yeah. So he finds her laying there dead, calls 911, and like we said, this call started at 6:33 p.m.
Correct.
And at 6:40, the paramedics were there. They were there in just a few minutes, and at 6:40, Ellen was declared dead. And they took her and they give her an autopsy. And it'd been reported that Ellen was stabbed 20 times with a 10-inch knife.
Right. Well, that's a 5-inch blade, 5-inch handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total 10 inches all the way around.
Just to be clear, because it sounds like a machete when you say
It was like a steak knife.
Right. That's what it was.
A serrated steak knife.
Just like the one you have if you have like a standard block of knives, the little row on the bottom, all the steak knives. That's basically what it was.
Exactly. We'll post pictures of that too.
Right.
But that knife was embedded in her chest through her clothing.
Yes, almost to the hilt.
Yeah. And like I said, she was fully clothed, found on the hardwood kitchen floor, located just inside the door entrance of the apartment.
Right. Now, when you're saying that, like we said, he could open the door and see in a little bit, but the way the door opened, it was looking away from the kitchen. So,
yeah, he
had no idea
he didn't have that angle at all to be able to see her laying there.
Correct.
Until he got in. Yeah. But like I said, Ellen was found there on the floor. Her upper body and shoulders were resting against the lower half of the white kitchen cabinets next to the stove.
And there was no evidence of a struggle or nothing, and nothing missing from the apartment.
And very minimal blood.
Yeah. It was really weird.
Yeah, very.
The rest of the apartment seemed to be undisturbed, per se, a little bit of blood. But over by the sink, there was like a container or a strainer that had some blueberries, and then like where an orange was starting to be cut up. It actually was cut in half.
Yeah.
Laying on the counter. Like
she was making a fruit salad or something.
Or yummy.
Yep.
Or something. And then there were a couple of clean knives laying in the sink. Also, the knife block itself was overturned.
Yes.
On the counter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of odd there, too.
But the police did search the apartment. And Sam told the police that when he returned to the apartment from the gym when he was working out, he couldn't open the door because it was locked from the inside.
Correct.
And the common latch on the inside of the door was broken, and the screws on the door were just loose, and it appeared that it had just been forced in from a locked position.
Yeah, and that's weird because, to me, I would think if you broke one of them off, it would come slam off.
Yeah. But it looked like
it was minimal damage.
Very minimal damage.
I was shocked.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't take much to fix that at all.
No.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. I would think they would hold up better than that, or I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
But there was no evidence of a struggle, and nothing was missing from the apartment.
Right.
And the rest of the apartment seemed undisturbed.
Yeah.
And there was no blood spilled beyond the kitchen anywhere in the apartment, just right there in the little kitchen area.
Right.
And we talked about the blueberries there. It was in a strainer, and there was an orange slice too.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, police, right from the get-go, Dale, they believed they were dealing with a suicide.
Yeah.
They believed that Ellen stabbed herself because they found prescription medication in the bedroom there. One of them was Xanax.
Well, not because they found it. Just they did find.
Well, they did find. Let me start that over.
Yeah.
Now, police believe they were dealing with a suicide. They believe that Ellen stabbed herself, Dale. They found prescription medication in the bedroom there. They found some Xanax.
Yeah.
They found some Klonopin, and they found some Ambien.
Yep.
And further investigation revealed that Ellen had been battling some issues with anxiety since late 2010, and that was confirmed that was the confirmation police needed to determine that Ellen's death was a result of a tragic incident and nothing more sinister.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
They found this. They also know that, they would find out later that she did not have any, what do you call it? Fight back wounds. What the hell you call it?
Oh yeah, she didn't have any defense wounds.
Yeah, she didn't have any defense wounds on her arms or on her forearms or anything, like she was fighting an attacker.
Yeah, nothing like that.
So the medication and the fact that the door was locked from the inside. So within about an hour, they had went over the scene. All they want to do, called it, said it's a suicide. See you later.
That was it. They were done in an hour.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
This is without even the medical examiner looking at the body or anything. This is just come in, check it, see you later.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But police discovered that Ellen saw a psychiatrist. Her name was Ellen Berman 3 times. She first saw her on January the 12th of 2011, then on January the 17th of 2011, and her third appointment was on January the 19th of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she had a fourth one scheduled for the 27th of January, and that was the day after she was found dead. And according to her psychiatrist, Ellen was stressed due to work. She had worked at the school for 3 years and was described as pretty bright and dedicated, but she found it very stressful.
Yes.
And
that's what she's telling her anyway.
Exactly. And the psychiatrist said that Ellen presented initially as severe anxiety and felt overwhelmed and under pressure. She told her psychiatrist that she was looking forward to her wedding and seemed to be happy when she spoke about her fiance Sam. And she did not indicate that there were any problems in their relationship. Ellen did not mention any physical or emotional abuse, and the psychiatrist prescribed Ellen some medication for her to take. And Ellen was kind of uneasy about taking some medication, so she tried Zoloft.
Right.
And didn't take that very long. It said it wasn't helping her at all.
Just a couple of days, I believe.
Yeah. But,
which is kind of weird, because these kind of medications really take a little bit to get in your system. But I guess the doctor said, well, we'll just try something else right off the bat.
They have to change your body chemistry over time.
Right.
Yeah. So she switched to a low dose of the Xanax that we mentioned to help her sleep, and later prescribed the Ambien and Klonopin.
Correct.
And they were the only drugs found in Ellen's system at the time of her death. And they were found in the trace amounts which are indicated that she should take. They weren't overdosed or anything. It was the exact amount she was supposed to take.
Yeah, and I think they only found the Klonopin and the Ambien because that's what, she had switched off the other ones. So she wasn't double medding. She wasn't doing anything silly.
Exactly. Now, according to this psychiatrist, Ellen didn't discuss having any suicidal thoughts.
Correct.
The psychiatrist said that even in Ellen's darkest times, she starts thinking about everything else, not suicide. And that was even echoed by Ellen's parents. Ellen's mom spoke to Ellen the morning of the 26th of January, the day she died.
Yeah, when she was on the way to work. She called her, yeah.
They spoke on the phone. It was around 7 a.m. And she said Ellen gave no indication that anything was wrong. But she was aware that Ellen had been struggling with something kind of late, but she didn't really know what it was.
Right.
But they did say that Ellen had asked her parents if she could move home, which caused them to worry about her because they lived 2 hours away from Philadelphia in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Right, and her mom asked her, is everything okay with Sam? What's going on? She goes, no, everything's fine with that. I'm kind of overwhelmed, and I got a lot of anxiety, and I just like to come home a little bit. And basically, her parents was like, dang, what the heck? You just got this great job that you really love. You got this man you love. Do you want to come home? What is going on? So at least that we will support you, whatever you want to do, but we suggest that you at least see a psychiatrist and have someone to talk to about whatever's going on first.
Exactly.
And that's why she went to the psychiatrist, because her mom asked her to go.
Yeah.
And she said she had been thinking about it, but she just didn't go. But she did end up going. So that's why she went there to begin with.
Yep. And due to the medication found in the bedroom, and also that there was no indication of struggle or an intruder inside the apartment, and no indication that Ellen tried to flee, police treated the investigation as if it were a suicide.
That whole hour.
Yeah, that whole hour they were there.
Jeez.
Yep. There was no suicide note found in the apartment or anything on Ellen's computer. And due to the manner in which the investigation took, namely that it was determined that Ellen's death was a result of a suicide. No thorough search of the complex or the building or the grounds took place, Dale.
Right.
Nothing else.
I guess they looked at the video monitors maybe and see who came in, and it was just people who live in the building, so we're good to go.
And the cameras, only ones they had were in the lobby there.
Right in the commons, yeah.
Yeah, right there when you come in, yeah.
Not in the hallways or the gym.
That's right. Now, while it appeared that the case was almost completely closed the same day Ellen's body was found, that changed the next day when the assistant medical examiner, his name was Dr. Marlon Osborne, he performed an autopsy.
Yes.
And that's when they found that there were 20 stab wounds found on Ellen's body.
20.
20.
Yes.
10 of them were to the back of Ellen's neck.
Remember now, kids, this is supposedly a suicide.
Yes.
So what we're saying here is this lady stabbed herself in the back of the neck.
Yeah.
10 times.
The wounds to the back of her neck ranged from small nicks to 2 significant ones that were 3 inches deep.
Right.
Those 2 wounds penetrated deep into her brain.
Yes, they were a little higher on the neck.
Yeah. There was a further stab wound on the back of Ellen's scalp. Another wound was on her stomach, and 8 wounds were found on her chest.
Right.
The 8 wounds to Ellen's chest indicated punctures that were just 0.2 centimeters deep and went up to the 4-inch final plunge of the knife that was found embedded in her chest. And the wound on her stomach was about a 2-inch stab wound, and one across Ellen's scalp. The one across Ellen's scalp was about 2.5 inches long.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah, this girl.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Now, Dr. Osborne also noted bruising on Ellen's body.
Correct.
Bruising now. Get this. He recorded that there were 11 bruises that were in various stages of resolution on Ellen's right arm, abdomen, and right leg, which means that they were bruises that occurred at different times.
Yeah, various stages of healing.
Yes.
It was,
You know how at first they'll turn a color and then they sort of start fading as they get better.
Yeah, to get the green and yellow and then the brown or the purple looking.
Yeah, they were at various stages of resolutions.
Right.
What
So
do you call it?
From weeks or so.
Yes.
Just depending, how they heal.
Now, this Dr. Osborne, he ruled Ellen's death as a homicide.
Homicide, baby.
And the matter was handed over to the Philadelphia Homicide Unit.
Right.
Now, because Sam, her fiance, was the person who found Ellen's body and the person who claimed the door was locked from the inside, police looked into his movements that day. And a lot of what they believed happened that day was due to Sam's account of the time leading, up to him going to the gym.
Right, because everything we've got is his word.
His word. And the police did review his key fob records and the security videos to see if they sort of tallied up with his version of events. Right. And police said that they did.
He checked out, yeah.
And the videos revealed there were no signs of any unauthorized access of entrances by anyone around the time of Ellen's death.
So no strangers came in, and his fob activated, I guess, the door to Jim. It don't say if he was in there or he wasn't, the doors thing, but then it shows he did go down and talk to the doorman.
Yes, and he did go to the gym.
Yes.
But while...
He at least opened the door. We don't know how long.
Yeah. But while the Venice Lofts apartment complex had surveillance cameras at the main entrance, there was none in the hallway leading up to the apartment, and police could not see what happened outside of Ellen's apartment that day.
Correct.
Yep. The police did speak to all of Ellen's neighbors, and they only heard Sam banging on the door around the time that he said he was locked out.
Yeah, didn't hear any other disturbances or noises during that day.
That's right. Now, despite the ruling of the assistant medical examiner, police still believe that Ellen's death was the result of suicide, not a homicide. Yeah, and they had the knife tested, and only Ellen's DNA was found on it.
Right.
And they pointed to the fact that there was no sign of disturbance or struggle, and
she was on medication.
Yeah, anxiety, yeah.
Now, from what we hear, they checked for DNA, but they didn't fingerprint the knife.
They did not. They just checked
for some reason. And Who the hell's DNA would be on it? I mean, you know hers is going to be on it because there's blood all over it.
And if he lives there, he uses the stuff. His DNA is going to be all over that apartment.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
You know, so this is kind of just.
But like we said, both the Klonopin and Ambien were the only drugs found in her system.
Correct.
And lists suicidal thoughts as behavior.
Yeah, both of these list suicidal thoughts as a side effect.
Yeah,
or a possible
they
side
do.
effect.
And police spoke to the closest to Ellen. Her parents noticed a huge change in Ellen in the month or two prior to her death. She was normally pretty outgoing and happy, but seemed anxious and worried right before she was murdered. And they asked her what was wrong, and she told them she was just stressed about work. And when she asked them if she could move home, Ellen told them it was nothing to do with Sam, and she just wanted to move home. That tells me right there there's something to do with Sam.
Yeah.
Because,
she just don't want to tell him.
I mean,
or something.
if
Or
you're-
she can't.
If you're in love with this guy and you're getting ready to marry him and you're living with him, that's going to be your person to go to.
2 hours away. You call your mom.
Yeah, I want to come home.
Right. Something
Yeah.
something is afoul.
Something is afoul with Sam.
Something is afoot here.
Yes. Now, there was one of Ellen's friends. Her name was Debbie Schwab. And she also noticed the change in Ellen and described her as being filled with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
She even said, and was quoted as saying, she kept saying it was because of school. She was very vague about everything. I asked her anything, if I asked her anything, it would just be a long silence. She didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, also a lot of her friends said about this time that she was kind of different because before she's so outgoing and free or whatever. But now anytime they ask her if they wanted to do anything or anything, she'd say, oh no, let me talk to Sam. Oh no, I got to talk to Sam. Let me ask Sam. Basically like she was being controlled or something.
That's what it seems like.
It's kind of odd, yeah.
Yeah. The police also stated that Ellen had conducted some online searches for suicide prior to her death. Now, they claimed that searches such as quick suicide and painless suicide were found on Ellen's hard drive.
Now, we did see another place where they said that basically, and it might have been her parents, I can't remember who said this, but they were saying basically she didn't search out these things specifically. And he thought it was more when she was doing research on these drugs and about the suicide stuff. You know how when you Google something, you type it in and all that stuff drops them under the bottom.
Yeah.
So maybe she looked at a few of those things or something. But according to him, she wasn't just typing that straight in.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
It was just related.
Related searches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And months after his initial ruling, this Dr. Osborne reversed the cause of death to say suicide. And the reversal came when the police asked Dr. Osborne to review his findings in light of their claim that they hired a neuropathologist to review a portion of Ellen's spinal cord.
Right.
Now, it was 2 months after Ellen was found dead. This Dr. Osborne changed the cause of death to suicide by multiple stab wounds. That was the cause of death. And it was claimed that the change was based on a report from Dr. Lucy Rourke Adams. She was a consultant for the medical examiner's office, in which it was alleged part of Ellen's spinal cord was examined, but no defect was found. And an examination of that sort would normally be carried out if someone wanted to establish if the spinal cord was damaged by any of the stab wounds to the back of the neck.
Right, because some of them did go between the vertebrae and was pretty deep.
Yes. Now, that piece of information would have been relevant and pretty significant to the ruling in relation to the cause of death if Ellen's spinal cord was damaged.
Yeah.
And it would have been... It
would have basically paralyzed her.
Yeah,
right
it would
there.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be able to do nothing.
She wasn't able to be able to stab herself anymore.
Because once that one hit in the vertebrae, she'd been paralyzed.
You're done, yeah.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. It was also claimed that the neuropathologist determined that the spinal cord sheath was hit, but the cord was not severed. This would have likely meant that Ellen would have been numb and wouldn't have felt anything, but was able to stab herself multiple times.
Right. Well, maybe right. I don't know. We did hear from someone who said that they did have a spinal cord injury similar to, and you do like numb, but numb also means you couldn't your hands didn't work real well either.
Exactly. And it was a decision that shocked Ellen's parents. Her parents, Josh and Sandra, did not believe that their daughter took her own life.
No, hell no, I wouldn't either.
No,
Not in this case. You think I'd believe you if you came to me and told me my daughter stabbed herself 20 times?
No.
Twice through the brain and then stabbed all I don't know.
We got pictures of these stab wounds. There's reconstruction pictures of this, and you just cannot make these moves with a knife.
But you might could do it, but it wouldn't be easy.
No.
You'd have to have a lot of force in a weird way, in a weird angle, to do it yourself. I mean, I ain't saying it's impossible.
I mean, it's going to hurt, dude. I mean, who's going to do that?
It's going to hurt bad.
Oh, yeah.
Especially they said that the ones that had penetrated her brain would have been in so much pain she probably would have passed out from it.
Yeah. But 3 of these stab wounds, any one of those 3 could have been fatal.
Oh, yeah. There were several fatal.
Yeah. But Ellen's parents did file a lawsuit against the Philadelphia County Medical Examiner's Office and Dr. Osborne to compel officials to change the cause of death back to homicide or undetermined. And their attorney, his name was Joe Pedraza, he said, this is a homicide case and it's indefensible as suicide.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the parents don't want nothing crazy. They're just like, look, just reopen it. We're just having a hard time believing this here.
Yeah. So this is when Ellen's parents, they began their own investigation.
Yep.
They consulted with a famous forensic pathologist. His name is Dr. Cyril Wecht. And this guy, I mean, he's done a lot of stuff.
Yes.
He's done examinations for a lot of high-profile cases. And he noted that Ellen's death was strongly suspicious of homicide and was particularly concerned about the location of the wounds, especially the wounds on the back of Ellen's neck.
Right.
And the family continued to fight to have their daughter's case reopened and hired a number of experts. One such expert was Dr. Wayne Ross. And this Dr. Ross was concerned about the stab wound that penetrated into Ellen's brain, as that would cause severe pain, cranial nerve dysfunction, traumatic brain signs, numbness, tingling, and irregular heartbeat. Yeah.
It just blows my mind, man.
And this Dr. Ross also worked with Detective Scott Edelman, and they reviewed the crime scene photos, and they believed that the body was moved due to the trail of blood found.
Well, I think it was too.
Yeah. And the Greenbergs worked with a company called Biomax, and Biomax used assistant medical examiner's report and recreated the depth and angle of all the wounds. So they done photos and pictures to describe how these wounds were.
Yeah, they done like an animation to show where the wounds were by showing like a cross cut section of a cartoon body with all these knives, and it looks like almost like a porcupine. I mean, where they're just stuck in everywhere.
Yeah, and this process is called photogrammetry.
Okay, good.
And it allowed the recreation of Ellen's anatomical and physiological attributes, and that showed the 2 wounds on the back of Ellen's neck that had penetrated her brain. And according to Ellen's family, it showed that Ellen would have not been able to do that to herself, the force that would have required. She just wouldn't have had that force to do it. Now, this is when Tom Brennan comes into play. A man named Tom Brennan. Dale, he was a retired police veteran, and he offered to assist the Greenberg family. And he looked at the crime scene photos and the assistant medical examiner's report, and he noted that the crime scene photos showed Ellen had a stream of dried blood running horizontally across her cheek.
Yep.
From the side of her nose toward her left ear. It was just straight across her face.
Horizontally.
Yes. And if stabbed...
That meaning you'd have to be laying on your left side.
Yes.
For it to run that way and dry.
Yeah, exactly.
Or congeal or whatever they're saying.
But she was sort of setting up, so with gravity, there's no way that blood could have run that way.
Correct. So it was at some point she had to be at that angle for that blood to run that way.
So he was determining that her body was moved and the crime scene was staged.
Right.
That's what he was saying.
And it's just crazy that there's no more blood than there were with 20 stab wounds.
I know he said most of the bleeding was internal.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, and this Tom Brennan also did not believe that the lack of defensive wounds indicated a suicide had taken place.
Yeah, I don't know.
He referred to it as a blitz attack, where the victim is attacked that quickly and they are unable to defend themselves.
Right. Sounds like to me somebody's sitting there cutting up an orange and somebody stabs them in the spinal cord and puts them down and goes to stabbing.
Yeah, keeps on stabbing.
Yeah.
So if the victim is taken by surprise with multiple stab wounds to their body, they may not be in a position to fight back or do anything.
No, especially if that one.
Yeah, you render them incapacitated, they're done.
Yeah.
So the Greenberg family, having consulted and spoken to a lot of experts, they're pursuing their case against the city of Philadelphia and the assistant medical examiner, this Marlon Osborne. And they need Ellen's case reopened because there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Mm-hmm.
The fruit found in the kitchen where Ellen's body was found indicated that she'd been in the kitchen slicing fruit.
Somebody had, yeah.
Yeah. Her 2 laptops showed that she was looking at work material and also wedding planning sites.
Yeah, one was her school laptop and one was her personal.
Yeah.
So that work material would be something to for a school class.
Yep. And those who knew Ellen agreed that she had changed before her death and was clearly worried about something, but she never indicated that she wanted to end her life at all.
Right, so she got gas on the way home. She come home, she's cutting up some fruit. She's in there looking at her laptop. She's looking at wedding stuff. She's looking at school stuff. But
Watching the snow.
But yet she's going to go over here and stab herself 20 times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like what happened to me.
Yep. Yeah. Now, in relation to the online searches police believe Ellen carried out, the Greenberg family hired a technology expert, and they discovered there was no evidence that Ellen made specific searches about suicide.
Right, kind of like what we said.
Yeah. Their attorney said, and I quote, "Our experts state that the searches identified by OAG are not direct searches, but instead phantom searches, which appear because of analytics and etc."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they said. That's what we said, but there's a lot more fancy.
Yeah, they got fancy words. Okay. And there are also questions that remain over what tests exactly were carried out on Ellen's spinal cord.
Mm-hmm.
The autopsy referred to a report by this Dr. Lucy Rourke Adams. But when reached out to this Dr. Rourke Adams, she said she had no records or recollection of ever examining Ellen Greenberg.
Right.
And that was pretty critical because...
That was a crucial bit of information, man.
Yeah. She had nothing saying that she had examined this.
Right, so it was lied.
Yeah.
What happened is when they had this new private eye, or new guy coming in to help them, he took all the information that they had and started going through it.
Yep.
And he's like, wait, I want to see this part about the spinal cord. Where is the thing telling me that, it wasn't cut? Where is this paper? Where is it at? And he couldn't find it. So he went to the police department. They said they couldn't find it. They couldn't. And then he finally went to her, the doctor, herself. And she couldn't remember it, and then couldn't even find an invoice or nothing from it. Like she had never been paid for this, and she couldn't remember. I'm thinking you would remember this case if you did it.
All right, let's get into Sam a little bit. Now, we mentioned that, he called 911, and after everything was done, they did take him into custody. But before all this went down, Dale, there was some phone calls that were made.
Yeah, speaking of shady, let's get into it.
Let's get into the shady part of this. Now, prior to him calling 911, Sam, he had made a phone call to his cousin, who was also his best friend.
Now, this is sometime after he's come out of the gym. He's been to the door. He's been back downstairs to talk to the doorman. So somewhere in here is when he calls him.
Yeah, he calls his cousin, who is also his best friend.
Correct.
And makes a phone call to him. And then just a few minutes after that, Sam receives a phone call from his cousin best friend's dad, who is a very prominent lawyer.
He's Uncle Lawyer.
Uncle Lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't know what was said between them, but one of them actually showed up at the crime scene before the paramedics got there.
Yeah, Uncle Lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer did.
Yeah, about a minute before paramedics got there.
Yeah.
He come on over.
He did.
Yeah. Now, you remember, he's making these calls before he ever opens his door.
But before 911 is ever called,
17 minutes before.
he's calling Uncle Lawyer.
Yeah. 17 minutes before he ever opens the door.
If that ain't shady, I don't know what is.
Right. Well, stabbing yourself 22 times is pretty shady, but
Yeah.
But yeah, he called him 17 minutes before he called 911.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. What transpired in this conversation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently, whatever he said to best friend cousin was enough for him to call Uncle Lawyer
Mm-hmm.
and tell him something's going down. You need to call him. I don't know, man.
This is one of the craziest things ever. But Ellen's case was ruled, but Ellen's case was ruled a suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the medical examiner refused to change it.
First they said, can't be forced to change it, because her parents was like, look, we're going to take a civil or something to get it changed. We can't be forced to change it. But now, of course, we kind of left out a part where, when he had already, the police had come in and said it's suicide, right?
Yep.
And then the medical examiner got the body, and he's like, whoa, this is murder. This is homicide. Something's going on here. Well, then there was a closed-door meeting between law enforcement and the medical examiner's office.
Yes.
Now, after this meeting, guess what? Oh, I think it is a suicide.
Yeah.
And then that's, some more shade coming
It was
in
a
there.
closed-door meeting.
Yeah, there's no records of what went on in there, or what was said or nothing, and nobody's ever said nothing.
Nothing.
But when they came out, the minds was changed, and that's why it is what it is. Yeah.
That's why it's a suicide now.
Right.
Yeah. But Ellen's parents, man, they've spent a boatload of money.
I think to this day, it's close to $700,000.
Yeah.
Hiring lawyers and fighting this for all these years.
And there's been some pro bono stuff that's been done. Some of these private
They
investigators
just do it free.
Yeah.
And some of the, the lawyers, a couple of them have.
have done it for a year.
Yeah. Now, when we was talking about the calling a while ago, we said that Uncle Lawyer shows up. Well, when the cops take Sam down to go talk to him to give a statement, the lawyer's with him.
Yes.
So he goes in, gives his statement. Lawyer's with him. Okay, that's it. That's in our comment. We're done. That's all you get.
Yeah.
And he's never said nothing else.
Mm-hmm. So they're ruling this a suicide because of the door
The pills
and no struggle.
and the pills.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, and the lady's phantom report
Yes.
that she wasn't, because I think in my mind, I think some stuff was going on. She's having problems with this guy. She called her mama. She wants to go home, but she don't want to tell him why.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's scared to say why because where she is, or she just didn't want to tell her mama what was going on.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Either Ellen was being abused because she had all these bruises on her, man. I mean, it wasn't just a couple, but she had a lot of bruises on her.
Right. Yeah, and she was a yoga gal. She wasn't like playing football
No.
or or whatever.
Contact sports.
Yeah, none of that. Basketball, nothing like that.
Yoga.
She was a yoga lady.
Yeah.
And I don't know, dude. It's just a damn mess.
It's sketchy as shit, man. I mean, it
I
really
told you
is.
you had to get the curse beeper out today. This has been awful.
It is. And
It just makes me mad. There's no way in the world you can convince me. I don't know that Sam killed her. I'm not saying that. I ain't saying he didn't kill her either. But I don't know who did if he didn't. But I 100% don't believe this lady killed herself. It's just ridiculous in my point of view.
there's one other thing, too. Sam had told that the doorman security guard was up there with him.
Either he told him or it was shoddy police work.
Yeah. He told the police that the doorman was with him.
Right.
And they went to him and said, no, I never went up there.
I never went up there.
No.
So, do we go back to the day that the door was locked when he went in and broke it down? We never know that the son of a bitch was even locked because he's the only witness.
The only one.
He's the only one that gave a statement. So, and when you look at the way that lock is broke, what it looks like to me is somebody latched the lock and grabbed the doorknob and jerked it a couple of times to break it, make it loose on the door, and then opened it.
Pop those few little screws out.
Yeah, because it's not even broke off at all. It's just loose.
Yeah. And it looks like it's very easily
What it looks
fixable.
like to me is somebody got into it or something, and then like maybe while she was doing her blueberries or whatever, and he comes out of the other room and just grabs a knife, flips the darn knife block over, stabs her a couple times. She turned around and stabs her in the back, paralyzed. Stab, 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 stab. Flip her over. Right, she's laying there. Flip her back over and stab her. Put the knife in the chest.
That's right.
Go work out.
Yeah.
Because she had to be laying on her side at one point.
Yeah. Now, the doorman did report that he saw Sam coming down and he had Timberland boots on.
Right. Now, we first got in and started listening and started researching. It was said that the doorman thought it was odd that he had been working out with Timberland boots on.
Yes.
But as we got into it, that could be, and that could be a little bit different because we kind of were looking at it. Somebody said that they'd seen a photo under surveillance that showed him wearing tennis shoes. Now, we've seen a photo, but it's really hard to tell what he's got on.
Very grainy, man. Very grainy.
But, like, you know, he didn't go up with him, and it could be, you know, how you remember stuff. Maybe he didn't even think about it at that point. And then again, it might be something that really jumped out to him. I'm not saying he didn't see what he saw. But it's possible to me that, you know, when he went back up, done all this, and they're getting ready to take him out, it is snowing. So they're like, well, we'll let you put your boots on to go out. So then when he comes down and now he knows, doorman knows, you know, something went on upstairs and all these police have come in and they're taking him back out and he's got on his gym clothes and them boots because he's really paying attention now. So that could be explained that way. I'm not sure. But when I first heard it, I'm like, this dude surely he's not that damn stupid. I mean, this is a pretty... well, I don't know. I mean, if they're believing that this girl stabbed herself 20 times, I don't know.
They're believing it. But there's another thing, too. Ellen's parents, they've been denied some of her effects. She kept a journal.
Dude, let me tell you, before you get into that, you know, like, being Jewish, they bury as quick as they can.
Yes.
And, like, the day that they were having their funeral, no, the day before, they went in, they searched the room for an hour, blah, 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 this. Well, 2 days later, before the funeral, somebody called the apartment manager and asked if they could come get some stuff for the funeral. You know, get some photos, some clothes and stuff out of that apartment. Apartment manager calls the police department. Listen, this is what they would need to do. I don't know what to tell them what's going on. Police department tells them, well, it's not a secure thing. It's a suicide, so I guess you can just let them in and get what they want.
Yeah.
Well, best friend, cousin, and uncle lawyer go over there themselves. They take all the laptops. They get Sam's, and they get Elle's 2 laptops, and her cell phone, and her purse, and her engagement ring, which was left laying in. It was on the I think the nightstand or somewhere in the bedroom, or maybe in the bathroom. It was in the bedroom somewhere, and then and a couple other things. And take that.
Yeah.
And then the apartment manager then calls and go, well, when can we clean this up if the scene's released? Oh, go ahead and do what you want. They even gave them a professional crime scene cleaning crew phone number, so she calls them. So the next day, they come and clean the entire apartment, deep clean it.
Yes.
I mean, this is 2 days after this happened.
Any evidence is gone.
So when they said that, the medical examiner made it, murder, and they were going to look into it, what the hell are they going to look into? Everything's already been cleaned up and gone.
Yeah.
It don't even make sense. So they can't go back, and then they've let the other people come and take stuff. So even when they went back to get the laptops and stuff, all that's been compromised. The chain of evidence is broken. They don't know what was on there and what's been added and what's been taken off by this time.
I know.
So that's another thing bad. It just keeps piling up the weird shadiness going on here.
They don't know if them computers been re-imaged or what. They don't know.
Right.
It's so crazy.
So, and it don't matter if they have their ain't. They've been out of hands, and so you can't use it. Anything can be questioned in court. I mean, even if it ever came up, well, how do we know that wasn't already on there?
Yeah.
You know?
And Sam was never examined as far as being scratched or anything, and they never took any nail clippings from Ellen.
No.
None of that. They didn't pull her fingernails or nothing. Bag her hands or anything. None of that was done.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It was shoddy from the very get-go, man.
And, the thing was, at the funeral, that's when her daddy got word that it was going to be ruled homicide.
Yes,
because they were told suicide off the bat, and then so they're all to hell. So while he's doing her eulogy, somebody comes to him, tells him something. So he gives a speech on what at least now it's been ruled
something's going to be done.
Homicide.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that time after that they flipped back the other way.
Yeah, that was after that meeting.
So this family's been flipped and flopped so many times. Oh, almighty, I just can't imagine.
That was after that medical examiner and the police had that come to Jesus meeting.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they closed door meeting. They changed it back to suicide.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. It's all messed up, man.
So somebody's got a lot of money, or somebody's got a lot of influence, or somebody's got a lot of something going on.
They know a lot of something on somebody.
Yeah, or something. Something is extra fishy here.
Yeah. But like I said, Ellen's parents, man, there's some of her effects that they haven't been given. They've asked for. You know, if it's a suicide, case closed.
Go back to the journal you was going to before I cut you off.
Yeah, Ellen kept a journal.
Yeah.
About her life, and they have this journal. They will not give it to her parents.
No, or some clothes and nothing. They won't let her have nothing.
Yeah, she had some clothes, some boots, some glasses.
Yeah, even her eyeglasses.
Yeah, they won't let her have none of that stuff.
And if it's a closed case and it's over, give it to her. Why are you keeping it?
Why are you keeping this stuff?
You didn't keep the scene. You didn't keep nothing.
And
and another thing, while I'm thinking about it, the apartment manager was smart enough to do this. Before the professional cleaning company shows up, she goes up, or he, I'm not sure which one it was. So,
but it was just
anyway,
the
apartment manager goes up and does a very detailed video of the whole scene around the apartment. She takes this, and she takes it and gives it to the police and go, here's this for a record, put it up. That way, you know, it's been cleaned, so here's a record of what the room looked like.
Very smart.
Very smart. So, but when they go to get the review of the video, guess what?
It's gone.
It's missing. We lost it.
We lost it. Dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't.
I just don't know if Ellen's parents will ever find justice for her, man.
I don't either.
Mm-mm.
Even if, and there's a big thing, you know, just happened where they're going to finally let them, because they tried, you know, to sue the city and all kind of stuff, and everything just kept getting turned back. You don't have nothing. You can't do nothing. But just here recently, they've, you know, things come up where they're going to get a chance to get somebody to relook at it.
Yeah, it's just within the last little while.
Yeah, and their count is a big win. It's just basically a chance to get a chance. It's nothing guaranteed or nothing, and they've spent over $700,000 to try to clear her name, basically.
Yeah.
You know, her mom, they asked her one time, you know, why do you do this? She goes, well, I really struggle with it. You know, it's her only child, and the only way I can lay my head on my pillow at night is knowing that I've done every damn thing I can do. You know, other than that, I've failed.
Yeah, they've said.
It was like, wow.
She was our only child. We're not going to have any grandkids.
Yeah.
You know, this is it. All we can do is fight for her.
Right. So they've set up a GoFundMe, you know, to try to help them out and get more funds coming in, because, they've probably spent everything they got. That's a lot
we're going
of
to put
money.
links to all this stuff on our socials and stuff so everybody will know what to look at and what to do and help out if they can. Help this family, man, because, it's just pitiful.
It is.
There's nothing.
Are we going to go into homie got married 3 years later?
Oh, yeah. Another thing about Sam. We did do a little research, and you can find this stuff out there. You know, he did get remarried. He met a lady and got remarried.
Just 3 years later.
Yeah, 3 years later in 2014 when he got remarried.
He's got 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I think the lady's parents are New York real estate tycoons.
Tycoons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big words.
That means they got money. If you got tycoon beside your name,
Yeah.
you got more than $100 in the bank.
It's like Monopoly guys.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
So to me, that when you look back, you can, I don't know if you put all the pieces together and then say, I don't know, this happened rather quickly, and I don't know, it's just bad. I don't want to say a lot about somebody who's, I don't know, I don't want to be no slanders, but that's the way it looks to me.
It is. It's just, Sam was the only one there.
As far as we know, you know, there's people who theories say to it might have been somebody who loved her and was waiting outside for Sam to go to the gym and come and knock on the door and get turned down, but I don't believe none of that.
And I know there's ways to manipulate these swing locks.
Yeah.
I know there's ways, and people show them on YouTube how to do these things.
Yeah, so even if it was locked, you could have locked it yourself, you know, from the outside.
Yeah.
And then shut the door and then go work out and then come back and act like you can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
That's very possible.
Oh, yeah.
Very possible. And like we said, do we really know it was even locked at all?
We don't. Just by what Sam said.
Nobody was there but him. There's no cameras, so we don't know what happened. And the doorman did not go with him.
And making that damn phone call to his cousin best friend.
Yeah.
Before he ever called 911.
17 minutes.
And Uncle Lawyer shows up.
Before he ever opened the door.
Yeah. And Uncle Lawyer shows up before the 911.
So you know it wasn't just a casual call.
Yeah.
Or why would he come over there?
Hey, bro, what's happening?
Yeah. Daddy, you better go over there now. Come on, dude.
Yeah, that's just messed up, man.
There's a whole lot of messed up, and yeah. And there's places you can go and get the deep dive on this, and there's a lot of really cool people who've done a lot of damn work on this case, but it's still just frustrating.
Yeah, there's a guy named Gavin Fish, and we're going to give him credit on our show notes about this. He's done an excellent website on this. He's got a lot of photos and
A ton of photos.
We're going to steal some of them and use some of them, and I mean, it is what it is.
Borrow.
Yeah, we're going to borrow them, but we're giving him credit for his work, and we're going to use some of them photos and let everybody look at them too. But
Yeah.
we'll put a link to his page in our show notes.
Definitely.
On our socials.
Because he's done a lot of work.
Yes, he's done the work. He's done the legwork on this. And actually, it was one of the things too that Gavin Fish done. You know, he done the work on this. He actually installed one of them swing locks in his house.
Yes.
He did to demonstrate. And he's got a video on this, how that swing lock would work if it was tried to be busted in on. But it didn't. It would do like you'd think it would. It would pull the jam off the door.
A lot more damage than a loose screw.
Yes. It wasn't like just a little screw popping out.
Right.
Yeah, like on Ellen's case in her door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that is the story of Ellen Greenberg.
I hope we got it all, because I kind of get scatterbrained because I just get so
There's
frustrated
so much,
on this, man.
You can do several parts to this story, and it's just so much.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
And there's other podcasts on this. The prosecutors, they did one on this. They had like a 5-part series on it.
And it's pretty good, too.
really, really good. They
Yeah,
go
a lot of information.
and deep dive into all this, too.
But, you know, when it comes right down to it, it's just two people live in one place, something happens, the guy goes out for 30 minutes, comes back, somebody's dead, been stabbed 22 times, laying in the floor, and it's all fishy, every damn bit of it.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
All right, bud. That's the case of Ellen Greenberg.
Let's roll, man. I'm ready.
We want everyone to be safe. Please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.